Okay, so let's go over some of the features here. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see your toolbar. This white space here is your board, right? Everything you put on this board, the students will see. Up here, there's a couple different options. There's a pan tool. You can select the hand, and what it'll allow you to do is move over on your board. So your board's rather large. You can, this pane here that you see in the dotted lines, I think is simply what's going to be printed if you do print it out. But otherwise you can draw pretty much wherever you want. It might also be, because I think the students can see this entire thing, I'm pretty sure. But this is your whiteboard. All right, and we'll test that out in a second. The other thing is a lock. So if you lock it, no one else can see what you're drawing. You can still draw, but no one else will see it. And then obviously the pointer is just a general pointing tool. You can select things and right click and paste stuff or whatever you want to do. The next option set down here is a paintbrush, a line tool, or a pointer tool. And the pointer tool is cool because it'll highlight and then disappear. So let's say you have some text on the screen. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's see. Let's do this map of the Hellenistic world. By the way, just so you get some Bible teaching out of this, this is highlighting the Seleucid Empire, which is where Antiochus Epiphanes comes from, who was a foreshadow of the Antichrist. Just see, I gave you some value in this tutorial. Okay, so once this uploads, so I upload a file by clicking this paperclip button over here, and it'll bring up this screen and I can add files. And then once it's converted and everything, you'll see a plus sign here. You can just import it, import files, and then on the bottom left, you see your boards 1 and 2. If you click 2, it'll bring up the board that the picture's on. And with this highlighting tool, I can circle the Seleucid Kingdom, and as I'm talking, it'll disappear. I think that's pretty cool. I've used it quite a few times. You have a line tool, which will allow you to draw lines, obviously. Very useful for graphing, possibly, or whatever. And you have your regular drawing tool. You can circle things, you can draw numbers, whatever it is that you feel like doing. If you come down here and hover, you can see a clear option, so you can clear everything off the board and start all over, right? Below that is a shape tool. You can do squares, you can do circles, you can do let's see, squares, rectangles, ellipses and circles, freehand ellipses. And you can also come down here to symbols and objects, arrows. You can do flow charts. There's some animals, all different types of things that you can use here to illustrate different aspects, whatever it is that you're teaching, right? So shapes and symbols. And then down here is your colors. So let's just say I pick this and I want to do a red line. I'm going to want to do my stroke in red, right? So it's this one right here, the second one down. If I do that in red, it'll change my line to red. All right. That's the color chart. And then this is the width. I can write big and bold like that. This is your eraser. So I can erase different things on the screen. This is your text tool. If you just click, you can write. So if you wanted to, write your math problems, you can make it a lot bigger, change the font. You can make it a lot bigger, right? So you can do that on your screen. This goes back. It's an undo, right? So you can go all the way back to the beginning. If you keep clicking it, it'll keep stepping back, right? Or you can go forward. Maybe you undid a little bit too much, all right? This is your zoom tool. So if I wanted to zoom in, it'll zoom for you. You just click it and it'll begin to zoom. This is your center canvas tool. So let's just say I went over here and I dragged my canvas over in this direction. I can click this and it'll recenter my canvas, right? And then obviously you can do grid and graph paper, right? And this is synchronized browsing, which is, we don't even really have to worry about that button. All right. Now, so these are the tools on the left. Okay. On the bottom right, or I'm sorry, the bottom left, these are your boards, 1 and 2. Okay. You can open other boards if you want. You can add another one. So let's just say you wanted one to have, let's see. Can I do that? So I guess you can't. I'm sure there's a way to do it. Yeah, I guess you either have to have the graph. I guess the graph is just an overlay. So you can have the graph on all of them or none of them, essentially. Probably shouldn't be too much of an issue. So these are your different boards. You can export to PDF. You can save your board, your entire board of notes or the lesson. You can export it to an HTML file, which is what you would upload to a website or something, or you can delete all of them in the group and go back down to 1. All right. So again, I can add by clicking add, right? And then I can switch over to my different boards. You have your microphone settings on the bottom here. You can turn on your camera. You can enable your microphone and check which default setting or what setting the microphone is set at. So if people can't hear you, you might want to click this and go in and mess with your microphone settings. But you can tell me or contact me if you have some sort of issue. We'll make it happen. We'll figure out what's going on. You have a media player where you can link YouTube videos right to the screen, which is awesome. And then you have your attached file. Like I said before, you just click add files, upload, or from a library. And you can, if you have anything uploaded to the library, you can select from that. All right. Now, the other thing I want to go over is this chat. Okay. Now, this chat is open for anyone who's in the room, including yourself. There's different groups that you can create. We'll go over that in a minute. But this is the central sort of typing apparatus, right? When they come in the room, they're going to be able to chat right here, and you're going to be able to see everything. There are some options as far as your chat goes. Okay, you can do personal notes, which will open up a little bit of personal note screen. Session templates, I wouldn't worry about that. That's going to be, we're not going to need to worry about templates. There's a timer, right? Let's just say you're doing a test and you want there to be a timer for 5 minutes. You would select 5 minutes. You would select the group, which is main, and you would hit start. And there you go. You got a timer, right? You can, don't worry about creating key points. Lock the room. You're not going to need that. Mute raise hand. You can stop them from raising their hand, and we'll go over what that means in a minute. But once that's on, nobody can raise their hand, and we'll explain why that might be useful in a second. Obviously, there's, again, the general settings, which we went over. Okay, that's that menu. Now, this on the bottom right is a participants button. When you click that, it's going to show you everybody that's in the room. Okay, and so up here, you'll see invite participants. So we're going to go ahead and invite somebody. And we'll see if they'll join us. So I can type in their email. I click invite, invite sent. And now we shall see if, let's see here. I'm actually obviously inviting myself, so I will show up. Let's see. Actually, you know what? And you can set some of the settings before the room even starts. But once the participants are in here, so this is me, the Henry Wolchin, obviously. Kale is my student. Now you can see he comes in automatically with his mic unmuted and his video blocked. Now that's on his end. He's chosen not to show video. You can lock his video by clicking it, and you'll see the lock there. Now, even if he turns on his camera, he won't be able to use video. You also have the ability to lock his microphone, so he won't be able to speak or have any sort of video feed. You can also go over and click this gear, and you'll have a multitude of options. You can change the volume of his microphone. You can change the volume of his the incoming audio and things like that. You can enable individual video. There's a gallery view. You can enable screen sharing, receive screen sharing. You can allow him to see the whiteboard, write on the whiteboard, edit all objects on the whiteboard, or you can stop him from doing that. You can allow him to chat or shut off his chat. You can allow him to write and chat or not have a personal chat, right? You can also allow him to upload from the computer or download files, right? Or you can ban him if that pleases you. So that's pretty much it. Now, you can have groups as well. You can create a group, group 1, and you can put Kale in that group, create group. And what you can do is you can, let's see, you can, for example, if we wanted to start a timer for a certain group, you could start a timer for group 1, and that they're the only ones that would see that, right? Group 1. Right? And I think they even get a different whiteboard. So if you have group 1 set up and then group 2, whatever you write on group 1's whiteboard will only show up for group 1, and group 2 for group 2. So if you wanted to do 5th and 6th grade math and only deal with one at a time, you could do that, right? So lots of different features. I went over some of the basics. It's a very cool program. I love it. The students seem to like it. So let me know what you guys think.